people that are poverty minded that think that the point of their income is to pay their bills only. People that are wealthy minded understand that the point of your money is actually to work for you, not just in the short term, but in the long term. It's for your money to make more money for you. If you're a woman physician who is earning more than $250,000 a year, this episode is for you. Because in this episode, I want to go through the 3 litmus tests that will help you know, or you can think about them as signs to know if you are using your income that you're earning right now wisely. Welcome, guys, to another episode. I'm Dr. Latifat. I'm a physician, and I'm also the founder of MoneyFit MD. What that means is that I help women physicians take the income that they're earning and let it work for them so that they can spend more time living the life that they want while their money is working for them. They're growing their net worth, their financial security in future is taken care of, and they are building generational wealth. So I'm so glad to be hanging out with you on another episode of the MoneyFit MD podcast/show. I don't know if you're listening on the podcast or you're listening in YouTube, but I am so excited that I get to hang out with you. Honestly, it feels as if it's been a long time since I recorded an episode, even though it hasn't. But I sometimes will batch episodes where if I'm recording, I may record, 2 episodes, 4 episodes. So at the time of this recording, I haven't talked to y'all in like a couple of weeks. So I miss you. I miss you. It's funny, like in the Money School, which is our weekly coaching community for women physicians that are growing their wealth, I tell them, and it is the truth because they can see it on my face, how much I actually miss it when I don't see them in a week. So 2 weeks ago, we had a guest coming to the Money School, which is one thing that we do like once a month. We'd have like a guest expert come into the Money School to teach something that maybe we're not teaching, or something that needs better clarity, or something that is meeting a specific need that our members have. So one of the things that you may have heard about trading in stocks, which I don't personally do. I don't think it's a bad thing as long as it fits you're intentional about what percentage of your portfolio you're doing that with. But I realize that not a lot of people are talking about options trading. So we brought an expert. And one of the things that I value in our community is we just don't bring anybody to come in. We bring experts, people that are like the top of the line when it comes to this specific thing. So with options trading, we brought someone in who, was actually someone that does this for a living. Not like teach people how to do options trading, but actually options trade for a living. This person was like working at the Chicago Stock Exchange office and just like works in one of the most well-known organizations right now. And so she really just came to break it down for us. So anytime we have those guests, that means that I'm not coaching during those weeks. And even though we were still meeting together, and we have our private Facebook where people are asking questions, engaging. Sometimes I do like live trainings in there and all of that. But still, when we skip a week of me not like being immersed in my amazing humans, I really do miss them. So it's not only y'all that I miss when I'm not talking to you. Like my Money School women, we miss each other when we don't even hang out for like a week. So, but anyways, I hope you guys are doing well. I'm excited about the episode that I have for you today. And part of the reason why I'm doing this episode is I was on a podcast interview recently with someone who is actually not a physician. She was interviewing me for her podcast. And during the interview, after the interview, she shared with me that her mother-in-law is actually a physician who was earning great income for multiple years, and the family was living really well. They were living what you could call the rich life when you're looking from the external areas. And living the rich life also was based on cultural definition. So they would buy things. They had no problems with like, the cars, the shopping. There was nothing like being intentional about where your money's going. And then something happened to her where that income was no longer coming in. And again, she had multiple years, and I want to say like over a decade of high income, good income that she was earning. But then when life happened and that income was no longer able to come in, it affected her severely. severely, significantly, where the quality of life of the family took a nosedive. There was, they went from like living in buying everything to not being able to buy much. And she was just sharing how impactful, negatively speaking, that was on the family and on the kids. And so, this person is now in retirement, and their retirement is also not as exciting or as potent or as plentiful as the years where they were earning great income. And so she was like, Latifat, like this stuff that you're talking about really does impact people. And so that was her encouragement to me. But that just made me think that I wanted to talk on the podcast a little bit about people that are listening to this podcast right now and those that you guys are going to be sharing the podcast episode with, and how to, like, sort of like the litmus test on, are you actually spending your income wisely? Because one thing that many people assume is that that income source, that clinical income, is going to continue to come the way that it is. So you're assuming that nothing is going to change economically, socially, government wise, that your high income is going to keep coming. And I'm defining high income in this episode as greater than $250,000 a year. If you're earning more than $250,000 a year, we will consider that high income. And yes, I know that we'll live in different areas. I live in California too, right? And so, I get it, but I'm going to still define high income as that. And yes, the spending power of $250,000 in San Francisco is different from Orange County, is different from Ohio, is different from North Carolina or South Carolina. But for the sake of this episode, if you're earning more than $250,000, I'm calling that high income. Okay. So the question becomes, if you're earning a high income and y'all pediatricians, I don't want y'all like rolling your eyes. Y'all can earn a lot of money too. I'm coming after you. Primary care docs, I think I've already like knocked that out of the park like many episodes ago, that we ain't buying the myth that you cannot earn income. I have primary care clients that earn more than I was earning as an employed gastroenterologist, and they were practicing ethical medicine. I have pediatricians that are earning way higher than $250,000, that some of them don't own their practice and they're making $300,000. Some of them own their practice and their practice is bringing in seven figures. So we're not going to honor that myth that y'all cannot earn a lot of money. If you're not earning a lot of money, as someone in those specialties or any other specialties, it may not be a question of whether you can or not. It may be that, are you doing what you can do? Are you poking holes in your assumptions? Are you going beyond the myth? The myth and the repetition is easy, and it's easy to hide under those, but are you pushing the envelope? Like literally, I was just coaching someone in the money school who I cannot wait to have her on the podcast, because she's going to be an example of not a primary care, a pediatrician, single mom that is killing it when it comes to her earnings and what her money is doing for her. And I cannot wait to get her on the episode, because she's going to show you guys, as I've shown you with the people that have come on here, that it is possible for you. If you believe you can, you can. And if you believe you cannot, you are correct as well, right? And so, what are some of the litmus tests that high income earners can start to pay attention to that may tell you that your income may not be being spent as wisely or savvy as you can? Keep in mind too that the season that you're in will matter. So sometimes people are spending money on things that are important, on things that grow in value. And as a result of that, maybe they may not have a lot of extra cash. That does not mean you don't have money left at the end of the month. That means you're using your money in a way that maybe you're supposed to use your money. So just keep that in mind and make sure that you're listening for the right things and you're not diagnosing yourself with a problem where it does not exist. So the first one I'm going to say is, you may not be using your money wisely if you are running out of money before the end of the month. And when I say running out of money before the end of the month, I mean that there is needs that are more than the earnings that you have if you're earning more than $250,000 a year. What do I mean by that? You earn your income, you do the things that you decided that you want to do with it, and now it's like the 20th of the month. It's the 23rd of the month, and you're starting to get achy, you're starting to get a little anxious, you're starting to not sleep well at night, because you're like, that's 7 days left. That 10 days left is going to be a stretch. until the next paycheck comes in. The analogy that I have for this as physicians is when we have, patients. I do GI and I focus on inflammatory bowel diseases sometimes. And there are times when my patients are getting infusion medications and maybe they're being scheduled every 8 weeks. But now there are some times when they're on the 6 week mark, and the amount of money, not the amount of money, they start to feel unwell like a week before, 5 days before. They start to feel the ache. They start to see the diarrhea. Maybe the bleeding is starting to come back. That tells me that the infusion medication is not lasting to the frequency that we currently have it in. And that may mean that we need to shorten the actual dose that they're getting at each time, or we need to shorten the interval between the infusions. So if you're earning more than $250,000 and you're starting to ache and groan and anxiety and palpitations 7 to 10 days before, it may mean I'm saying it may mean because there are times when earning more is a solution, but there are times when using what you're earning differently may need to be the solution. So you may not be using your income wisely if that is happening to you. The number two thing is this. When you're looking at your financial security in future, and a lot of times the way we would measure that is by looking at our net worth. You're looking at your financial net worth, and your financial net worth is the assets that you have, the things that you have that are of value, that increase in value over time, minus your liabilities, the things that you owe. So your liabilities could be your car. Your car depreciates in value over time. So theoretically, it's not an asset. Your debt, your credit card debt, your student loan, your mortgage or mortgages, if you have multiple properties, those are liabilities. The assets are things that increase in value over time. So the value of your investment properties, technically your primary home is not an asset, because in order for you to get access to the money in there, you're going to have to get rid of the property. And technically, properties do decrease in value. What can increase in value over time, but because you're living in there, it is not theoretically an asset unless you sell it. Sell it and buy a smaller home, you sell it and you move into another, like a rental, or you start to take your own primary home and turn it into a rental and maybe move into another rental that may cost less. Maybe you don't need all the space you have anymore. You're an empty nester, or maybe you overbought a house, or maybe like us, maybe you travel around the world and now you're renting your house out for a medium-term rental that's going to bring money into your pocket without you having to worry about your mortgage. Right. So, but you want to look at your net worth. So, which are the things that you own, the assets minus the liabilities, what you owe on them. And so that difference is a net worth, and you can calculate it manually if you want. You can use a spreadsheet, people use Excel, or you can use other things like I use Personal Capital, which it's now called Empower. I still highly, highly recommend them. It's a great way to monitor your net worth. You put in all of your information, pull in all of your data, and then it can be monitored for you. So if your net worth is not growing, you may not be using your income wisely. Or when you look at your future, your financial future, you look at retirement, whenever you want that to be in 5 years, in 10 years, in 15 years, and the trajectory in which your net worth is going is not going to match with your goal of when you want to retire, you may not be using your income wisely. And then the third one is this: you cannot afford to take a pause. A pause is one of the most useful, most helpful, most kind things that you may do for yourself. And when I talk about a pause, it could be a sabbatical for a year, like I did. It could be like for 3 months, like some of my clients have done. It could be, I don't take a month only. A month is something, but you need more than a month. And I'm saying that from experience. It takes more than a month for you to defrost. If all you've ever taken is only a month, and some of you are like, only? I've never taken more than a week. Yo, we need to work on that, right? We're not going to stay there. This is where you're starting from, but we need to work on that. But if you've not taken more than 2 months off, you don't know what defrosting means. When we took time away, and we're going to do this again, it's not a one time in a lifetime thing. We're going to do it. It's probably not going to be for a year as our kids are, continue to get older. But I truly, truly believe that people should be taking 3 months off at the very minimum every couple of years, right? I mean, I was reading in the Bible where it talks about the land, and one of the laws, one of the things that God gave the Jews as an instruction, the people of Israel, was to every 7 years to leave their land to sort of like heal, for lack of a better term. Like it's like don't work that land in the seventh year so that it can replenish, it can recover. And there's wisdom in that, right? Some of the things that we think of as like religious rules or religious instructions in the Bible is actually wisdom. And that way, like if you think about what happens when you let your land replenish by itself, like the fruits that you may have planted on there before falls to the ground, decays, the maggots in there, it really does refertilize the soil and makes the soil healthy again. So that when it come back the following year, it's healthier and now can sustain you again and grow for the next couple of years. Because what we do is we like force the land, we'll like spank it, we'll like kick it, we'll like fertilize it quickly, right? But there is wisdom in letting it just like heal. And that's what happens when you take a sabbatical. But if you cannot afford to take 2 months off, if you cannot afford to take 3 months off, and you've been practicing medicine for 5 years, 10 years, then you may not be using your income the way that you could be using your income. Because the point of your income is for it to actually work for you. I like to remind people, one of my mentors would say that people that are poverty minded think that the point of the income is to pay their bills only. People that are wealthy minded understand that the point of your money is actually to work for you, not just in the short term, but in the long term. It's for your money to make more money for you. Like, I don't want to only earn when I work. And right now, in the season of my life, when I think about the work that I do, I see patients about 6 to 8 times a month now, which I'm so grateful for. It's a pleasure and an honor to take care of patients. More choice you have, the more pleasure you get from doing things, and the better you actually do it, in my opinion. So I love that I get to see patients on my own term. I take care of women physicians inside of the money school, but also outside, like through the podcast, the book, the speaking, our social media. If you're not already following us on Instagram, dude, we have a really exciting, engaging Instagram channel. And I really do want to get to know you guys more. It's a way to get to know you. I'm like looking at your pages, saying hi to you, but you also get to engage. I really do want to get to know my people more. So those are some of the things that I do where writing books, teaching women physicians, speaking at events, speaking on podcasts. If you have a podcast, by the way, or you have a Instagram or Facebook and you want to interview me, you want me to share some of the things that I do and some of the wisdom, some of the mistakes, the lessons with your audience, email me, Dr. Latifat at moneyfitmd.com. It would be a pleasure to find a time together and come chat with you. But those are the things that I do with my time now. Of course, family, with our kids, real estate investment. Those are things that I spend my time doing right now. But the way that I have set it up is that the earnings from those is amplified. Like, for example, when I think about the book that I released 2 years ago, that book makes money. It doesn't make a ton of money, but it makes some money, right? When I'm not even writing the book anymore because I've set things up. The money that we've invested in the stock market earns money for us in the stock market without me sitting down and babysitting it. The assets that we own, they appreciate without me having to babysit it like I would. Like clinical medicine, I'm exchanging time for money because the value that I'm getting from it is more than just money only. It's using the skill set that I have. It's serving patients, doing what I love doing. It's doing what I'm called to do in this at the capacity that I do it in this time, right? So the point of money is that the point of money so that my money can grow and I'm not limiting myself on what I can give based on how much time I'm exchanging for money only. Does that make sense? So making sure that our money is actually working for us is really, really important. And then the last one that I'm going to add almost as a bonus is that you're probably not putting your income to wise use, completely wise use, or you can leverage it better if you are worried about an emergency and the fact that you may not be prepped or positioned already to take care of whatever emergency may be coming, financial emergencies, there is a leak, there is a whatever may happen. If you're not prepared for an emergency, you may not be using your money wisely. And the reason why I'm sharing this is not to scare you, it's to prep you. I would rather have this uncomfortable conversation with you when now you're realizing that, okay, I need to change something. I need to move something. Something needs to be done differently. I'd rather have that conversation with you now than like you figuring that out in 20 years. And this is something that I like to remind even my kids that everything that you want to do, everything you want to be great at starts with you not being good at it, right? Most times we detest that. We shame ourselves. We guilt ourselves for not being good. at something when we forget the fact that not being good at it yet is the first step. Like I used to dread it before because like most physicians will judge ourselves. But now I'm happy to see things that I'm not good at. Like I'm working on things right now in my own life as I'm working with you guys, teaching you guys, coaching my money school members, as a mom, as a human, as a everything, as a wife, as a sibling, like a sister, as a daughter, like as a like all of the roles that I play in my life. There are aspects to it that I'm not great at yet. So when I find something that I'm not good in at, I'm not good at yet, I've now trained myself to not judge myself, but instead celebrate that because I know that as long as I don't quit, then I get good at it. I get good at it. And it's a complete fallacy that we're ever going to have a time in our life where we're just excellent at everything. When you're excellent at everything, you're like deceiving yourself or you're ready to die. Right? That's how life is. We're meant to grow, we're meant to evolve, we're meant to be pruned. Actually, I need to do an episode on growth because I think I'm getting some further understanding of growth that is different and deeper than how I used to interpret growth. And I think it would be of value to you. But I just want to encourage you and say, this is you. Don't judge yourself. There is help. You listen to the podcast right now. That's already a great step. Like, listen to the podcast and then ask yourself, what can I do differently? How can I take actions to move towards the place that I want to be where I no longer suck at this thing that I'm doing, but now I'm getting better at it? The book Done with Broke, it's available on Amazon. It's available on Audible. You can literally start to learn right now and start to take actions on how I went from negative $200,000 to building seven figures, my first seven figures within 5 years without working extra shifts. And one of the other things that I want to talk to you guys about is we have our upcoming challenge that's going to be coming up this month of March. Welcome to March, everybody. It's going to be happening March, the week of the 24th. We're doing it in 4 days. And what I want to teach you is how to take your income that you're earning right now and how to amplify that, how to turn it into more money, how to accelerate your freedom, how to stop worrying and staying up at night. And what we're doing is it's going to be 4 days. It's a financial breakthrough challenge. It's only $97. It's going to be 2 hours a day. We'll be teaching and coaching. You could be able to ask me questions, Q&A. The goal for this time is to bless you. The goal for this time is for you to have a breakthrough like you've never had it before. And my goal for every single person that's signing up and will be joining up for the challenge is that you get at least a 10x return on your investment. Every time I do anything at all, I'm competing with the stock market. I want you to always get your better return by investing in yourself through, whether it's through our book, through our challenges, through the money school. And I hold ourselves accountable to making sure that that happens the same way that I hold you accountable to doing your part to making that happen. And the link to that is you can go to moneyfitmd.com/FLP so you can sign up right now. Don't wait, don't snooze. Go there right now, sign up, register so that you can get into our Facebook group where all the parties going to be happening when the doors open because this year is the year that we are not going to stay like we were before. This is not the year we're going to be pretending like everything is going well. This is not the time where we're like hiding in silence and isolating ourselves and delaying our own financial success. No, this is the year we get the help we need, the support we need in the right community so that we can become the people that we're meant to be. Because you, my dear, are a gift not only to yourself, you're a gift to the world, you're a gift to your patients, you're a gift to the next generation. And the way we make that happens is by learning, by moving, by getting the support you need. I'm here to serve. I'm here to help you. I will see you in the money challenge. And if this has been helpful for you, again, go to the link. It's moneyfitmd.com/FLP. But also share this link with other women physicians that need to know that they are not alone. I was here, I've been here before. And there's nothing more powerful than the work that I do inside of the money school, where I get to see women that go from where you are right now. And 4 months later, you're like, I'm negotiating and asking for more. I'm increasing my net worth. I'm finding money that I didn't know what I had. I was living in lack when I actually had abundance. It's the joy of my life. And these women are getting the return on their investment like time and time and time again. So thank you. I love you. God bless you. And I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.